All right. I've got a fine look at what seems to be some cabinets and a table.
Isn't that amazing? Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Hola.
I can't see you at all.
Don't worry, you'll see me shortly. This is how I see Ivar walking back into the gameplay.
Oh my. How you doing, Drew?
I'm well, how are you?
Excellent.
Sorry about last week.
Well, at least you fixed it.
Yeah, I had to tell ND this. I had to remove it and then reload it.
Standard IT practice.
Yeah.
Turn it off and turn it back on.
Yep. Reset the computer. Doesn't work. Remove, reinstall.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. Man, I haven't won a game of Crucible since Sunday.
Well, that's pretty crazy.
Well, I've only played Iron Banner so far, and it's just been
Oh, I'm sure it's
stomp after
murderous.
stomp.
Yeah. Because of Trials, I think that the fact that everybody's going to be like end-game quality right now.
Yeah. Jawohl.
I'm trying to get there, but it's not happening quick.
I don't know, but I've heard, Ken, that you've discovered What If.
Well, I mean, I knew about it, but I got to the uh, Doctor Strange episode. It was just incredible.
Oh, I love that episode. Doctor Strange loses it, and the only person that can stop Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange.
And even then, he still loses,
Yeah.
which is cool. I like it's not uplifting story.
None of them are. Except maybe the Thor one.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Wait until you do, man. You're gonna laugh because that it's such a great job.
Thor as Thor should have been.
mother.
Not spoiling anything.
No.
I've actually never even seen the Thor movies.
They're good. I like
What?
them.
Really?
No, not a one, except Ragnarok, which apparently is Thor 3. But
Yeah.
It's Thor Ragnarok is probably one of the better films in the whole Marvel Universe series.
oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's got Jeff Goldblum. How can you go wrong?
Yeah,
He's got a Melty
rotating
stick.
his crops.
That fucking guy, man.
Dude, I love when he's playing DJ. Like, welcome, I'm a DJ. What's
just
going
love
on? Hey.
Like it's just.
So, I aspire to the level of Jeff Goldblum for the way he's able to make something sexual.
Without saying a damn thing either.
Yeah,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah, he's just so damn. I don't know.
sensual.
Yeah, his like every word is moist. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly. Moist is the right word.
Mhm. I mean, the dude's got a spaceship that he only uses for orgies. I mean, he's not even around, and you get it.
Freaking Jeff, man. God bless that dude.
Oh, D, have you had a chance to make the updates that we recommended on
Resume
your
wise,
resume? Yeah.
I haven't been able to touch that damn thing, but I'm going to. I've got it targeted for this week. I gotta get my whole LinkedIn thing figured out.
Yeah, you got to sign in. Well, you should. It's owned by Microsoft, so I imagine you'll be able to sign in with your Microsoft account. And you could even create a Microsoft account, or an alias with your first and last name. Unless you want to use Gmail, which is fine too.
Nah, it's all good. I'll figure it out. It's just a matter
Yeah, you
of doing it.
Yeah. Finding a new job is never fun.
Just the LinkedIn part of it's the only thing that's making me going like, oh.
Well, the thing is, it's a market because Scott's getting hits, Kimmy's getting hits. She's on her second round of interviews this week, so it's a hiring market. And now is
I think you'll be able to find something.
Now is the time to do it.
Yeah,
Yep.
especially going for a full remote.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna.
It's literally what I can do.
Because that's the funny thing is, Kimmy's not getting any pushback on like salary.
Yeah.
Like none. It's like, no, this is what I want. Great. Do you want more? Yes.
Because what they'll do is they'll wait until things get back and get better, then they'll just fire everybody who got those really good salaries.
Probably, but whatever gets her
employment again.
Whatever gets her out of the men's warehouse is all I care about because she's doing 60 hours this week for the next 2 weeks indefinitely because she's running a flagship store with 3.5 people.
How big is that store?
Oh, wow.
How many square footage?
It's a flagship store.
It's a flagship
That's
store.
like the big
I've
shit.
been in a men's warehouse before, so
probably one of the bigger ones. I don't know the square footage. I should because I ran that fucking thing. So
just remember how much coffee you drank and how much it took you to get from one side to the other.
3 cups. 3 cups a day.
It's amazing, this job market right now. Like, everyone's complaining they can't find people for jobs, and then people that are looking for jobs, it's like...
And they're finding jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's employers that are willing to actually pay a person a living wage.
Oh, yeah. I told my superintendent I was looking for a job somewhere else, that just the nature of the district isn't what I'm seeing, and he begged me to stay. And I'm like, this is, like, sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. While the men's warehouse will survive, I am predicting that within the next 3 years, if that, you'll have no current members of the men's warehouse in it.
Seems reasonable.
Because the
Is it going to survive like Sears has survived for the last 20 years?
It's becoming like Macy's, and then it'll become like Sears because all the old guard men's warehouse people that were fighting the changes that were causing the problems in the first place, basically said, "We're fucking done." Like my buddy Jonathan, who is the regional, he's gone. He's a regional manager of Sportsman Warehouse up here now. Because it was just.
What's sad is Men's Warehouse is like Toys R Us. It had such a niche.
It did.
And all you had to do was maintain it. And you get people coming in who effed it up.
And that's the problem with sads me is because if you're to ask me what world-class customer service is, it was the Men's Warehouse was when I was in it. I mean, there's Costco too. But it was the fact that
I think it was only when you were in it.
When I was in it, but the thing is, I left, and the senior store manager, my other buddy, left because we saw the trends. We saw the trends, and we went, no, we're not being allowed to provide world-class customer service. We don't have the tools.
World-class service costs money.
Not that much.
No, it doesn't. It actually brings you. The return on investment's amazing, but it never ceases to amaze me when people come into companies and they cut that early on. It's like you gain so much by just the little acts like that.
Well,
you go to Costco with your kids and they draw a little happy face on the receipt. Like, it's stupid, but it makes your kid laugh.
Yeah, it's short-sighted ignorance. It's willful ignorance. I think D said it both that willful ignorance is the greatest evil of mankind. Scott, you are probably talking or just moving your face, so we don't know if you're actually speaking.
Yeah, I'm just fucking around.
Okay. But
by the way, that is tonight's title, Willful Ignorance. Let's see where this goes.
Anyway, so, all right, where were we?
Well, we got a recap for Drew.
Yeah, please let me know. This is what I heard last time. Like, I think he hurt.
I got this. I got this.
And scene.
I know people's shit's emotional right now. Shit is bad. The economy's all fucked up.
Don't tell me you got this guy named Ivar and he's going to fix all your problems in 1 week.
And we got this guy, Ivar. And he's going to fix the economy. Yeah,
what the hell happened? Seriously, what happened? I kind of heard you fell down a hole.
Yeah, so we're taking on an outsider. So what happened was we journeyed into the temple. Essentially, John reached out to Mother going, okay, what the fuck? And Mother said, don't trust your instinct. That was the only clue that Mother gave us, was don't trust your instinct.
The outsider that we think is our friend is really not our friend and we need to fucking kill the motherfucker?
No, we don't know that yet. Not exactly. It's when we're in this environment, we should not do our instinct or what our instinctual reaction is to do. Right? So we jumped off a cliff. We ended up in a crystalline structure that is the prison that the other outsider is using to confine this other being. You mean
the guy that's our buddy?
The one now confining the thing that we're supposed to kill, or at least trap. Weaken to the extent that we can actually trap it. The cult confined it. Kin basically blasted it with a surface to air golem. And then Barrick did pew pew laser
proton
beam.
Cannon.
Yeah.
And it was like crater or like a dust clears and there's like a tiny scratch.
Yeah, tiny
scratch.
So,
very anime.
So we're trying to confine it to such an extent where we can actually damage it in a physical form. But the cult spell didn't really do it all the way.
Okay, let me see if I get this straight. You guys have encountered an outsider, and this outsider is not tangible enough to actually harm it, and so you're trying to make it take on some sort of form so that you can actually hurt it.
We think.
Is that an accurate assessment?
That is definitely what the mission goal of the group is right now. Yeah.
And,
so that Ivar can use his shoebox to.
Well, we have our t-shirt cannon too.
Yeah, you guys are planning on using both. Originally, it was going to be t-shirt cannon, then shoebox. Basically, take whatever remnants are left and then throw it into the shoebox.
This is how Ivar comes back.
Prison inside of a prison.
Well, I think that we decided that
movie.
What had happened is that Ivar was in the temple with us, and once we were told to not trust our instincts, everyone else just popped off the cliff, and
like,
Ivar just stuck the trip. Ivar just
walking the slow trail instead of teleporting.
Yeah. So we just think that Ivar's going to slowly walk down the staircase with his now still full Bloody Mary, going, "What? Why you not take stairs?"
In all honesty,
they are perfectly nice stairs. They're lovely.
That's what, like, I heard you guys jumped off, but I didn't hear the reason why you jumped off, and I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like, there's no goddamn way Ivar's jumping off anything. He would be like it seems like the total thing he would do, but he's just like, no, I just walk downstairs and go around circle. I have to stop here and pee for a while. Then I'll be down. And I feel like Ivar, I mean, does it seem reasonable that Ivar just kind of like walks in at the most climactic moment where it's like, you need Ivar? It's like, I mean, he goes last in initiative anyway, so he just kind of walks in like, what do you need?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's totally reasonable. Not only that, the thing about it is that he's going to be doing the correct thing in sense that even though he's last in all of the initiatives, it's very clear that he wants to prevent something terrible from happening to the group. So he would always have that sense of urgency in there, and the fact that he's taking his time goes against the grain, which is exactly what was. Oh my god. Yeah. So because you never got to really hear described, because I kept trying to repeat it, the area and chamber that you guys are in. Why are you laughing so hard, man?
It happened 4 times. So here's where we're at.
Yep.
Yeah.
We came back. Okay, so here's where we're at.
Okay, everybody turn off your cameras.
Here's where we're at.
Ivor, can you hear me? Or Drew, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, what?
I lost it the 4th time it happened. It was literally every time D opened his mouth to explain what was going on to Ivar. To Drew.
Okay, check it out too. New barrack.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
sweet.
fucking dig it.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you little fuzzy asshole.
All right. So,
Okay,
I was your
now,
little
go
fuzzy.
D.
for 5th time's the charm then, since we're not going to stop the count. You guys had traveled inside of the temple. Okay. It started out as regular stonework, regular everything for the most part, except for the fact that you guys are on a different realm, ignoring all those points. It was somehow or another internally luminescent because the sheer crystalline structure, it's like a ghost story in the background back there. It's crazy. The door's just opening up all on its own. Yeah, seriously.
Little bastard's locked out now.
Accurate.
Scott, fuck you.
So when you guys had traveled inward, eventually everything became this very strange sort of crystalline structure that was beginning to warp sound and light. And there was like enough reverberating light everywhere that it was all kind of illuminated in this sort of sickly green coloring. When you guys reached the point where there was this deep chasm that went straight down, John was made aware that something was obviously, backwards, opposite, whatever it was. But following one's instinct was definitely not the correct plan of action. And so she relayed this information. Dravis was the first. He heard this and he's like, fuck it, and just jumps off the cliff because that goes against everything that he'd ever contemplate. So, of course, right after that, the only person who was, following her instincts technically was Riv, because she's like, I'm gonna do that! So being impulsive, she just does it anyway. So follows right in.
Is that really instinct, or it's just whatever came to mind?
Well, instinct is basically equated to impulse, so yeah. But
there you go.
But it's perfectly fine because anything that she does is usually via impulse at some point or another. I mean, we're all kind of the same way, and I'm sure that she was probably like, well, I don't have any of my things revved up, so it's probably not a smart idea. But she's always kind of going counter to herself anyway. Her instincts are always kind of taking over. So it's kind of like,
True.
Well, you get into that opposite world conundrum where it just kind of constantly loops.
Yeah, kind of add on that. I just kind of did a roll for not a cult, but Ivar and his just journey down this anal hole is just trying to almost stop and smell the roses. What is he aware of as he was making his way down, hearing the sounds of his friends and just hearing what's going on? That's not what Ivar would be doing, but it's more like he's just taking it all in. He's very thoughtful.
One piece of thing you should know, Drew, is that I think Scott lost his sanity for a little bit because he failed a sanity check. Yeah, and then there's there's a little confrontation between Riv and Scott or Barrack. Because Barrack was like, "I'm fine," and Riv was like, "You're not fine."
Oh my god! It's when you deal with anybody who's drunk.
Compartmental. No. It was more like, you know what? Everything's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. I've compartmentalized this part of my head. I will definitely turn my back on you as soon as I get a chance. But I'll say I'm okay so that we can just keep.
And and both John and I were like, "Nah, dude," but we kept on going anyway.
All right, I think.
Well, then I
think
succeeded
I got
on
this.
the next check.
So, what you notice? There's a pretty strong familiarity with all of this, including the structure and the way that everything looks. How it's basically like chaos and order are suddenly lopsided or load balanced against the normal order that you're used to. where it seems to be that order is in constant conflict with entropy and trying to, I don't know, sustain itself against the current of that particular river. It's the opposite whenever it goes the other way.
It's a magnetic pull.
You can kind of consider it that way. Everybody else was kind of considering the same thing. As a matter of fact, John's working on an arcane theory that goes right along that same premise. He's basically going like, how are the outsiders even able to be here if they're truly outside of our universe? How could that even be possible? If they're truly outside of that universe, then what in the world would we be dealing with? You know, could you actually defeat something that would be like that? And then it was sort of like he was talking about, obviously we're talking about the polar ends of the way that the universe works. There has to be clear points. Maybe this is nothing more than entropy giving conscious sentience.
So think of it as the Greek ideals, but in the entropic sense.
Ivar is just wondering if he should just supercharge the magnet.
Well, that would be fascinating.
Increase the chaos, increase the order, and just blow it up to an intense.
Maybe we should take care of this creature first.
John basically realized that the crystalline structure was amplifying the other outsiders' ability to trap. So the magic that he cast out was he cast the magic out into the crystals and reverbed the magic back into binding space and what did he use?
Matter, I believe.
Forces.
You did like a whole list. It's like you were listing the sphere.
He was using.
Ivar's now. I would take it that this would reverberate through the crystals themselves.
Well, in this case, you have no idea. That's like saying, oh, I understand how entropy works, and it works along these normal orderly passageways. That's exactly the contradiction. There's no way to know what you would hear or what you wouldn't hear, or if it was even the truth. Because what you're finding...
Ivar's hallucinating on his hallucinations.
Kind of. Yeah.
Ivar is now lost beyond... Like, he's now like, I wonder what this all is.
Come all the way around and is making sense.
Yeah, whenever the dreamer dreams himself inside the dream of yet a dream he does not know about. Yeah.
Staring into the mirror, trying not to blink.
Stop. So we should. So the fight, do the 10 points of the fight that we had and where we stopped, and then we can figure out how Ivar joins us or when he joins us, and then we can continue because we left it off at a pretty precipitous point, right?
Yeah, you had done your golem.
Yeah.
And then I used the point you hit as my target and then lit it up with the plasma.
Yep, and he was last on the list anyway.
Rounds.
Oh, that's right. We were going to be dealing with the repercussions. Like it was time for the big bad to retaliate.
Yeah, we heard the ding. His laser had all charged up, and he's like, my turn.
Before we get all that,
the tiniest bit of blood off his cheek. Finished.
All of that fight just for a little blood.
A quick question on time. I know we can jump time, but we can't go back in time. But can we manipulate time in the sense of slowing it down or speeding it?
Oh.
Yeah, and speeding it up. Like, is there a way to in a sense?
Colt did that with one of the big bads. He slowed down. He put a time dilation field around it so that it couldn't move nearly as fast as it wanted to.
Yeah. So we can't. So if Ivar wanted to, he could theoretically create a time loop or an absence of time and almost freeze something in time, a wrinkle in time, perhaps.
So we do that thing from Breath of the Wild where you stop someone and then you hit him 500 times, and then when it breaks, all of the energy goes at once.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. That was a good one. Okay, I was just curious on that.
So the thing about that is that time has certain restrictions when it comes to the magic that can be used on it. You can slow it down to the point where it seems like it's stopped, but it can't actually truly cease, because that deals within that's within the realm of the caretaker, if you remember him.
I haven't written that part of the CRB yet, so
yeah. That's one of those things where, in a sense, but the caretaker in and of himself could do something like stopping time or following the thread backward and forward to a certain degree. But the funny thing is that no mortal, regardless of how strong they are, can ever stop time truly. They can slow it down, they can speed it up to a certain degree, but like it becomes, you're talking about a cosmic force. So you can kind of like bubble it and cause it to kind of run a little faster or run a little slower in various areas, kind of like putting a boulder amidst a river. It's still flowing around it, but the boulder won't stop it. Eventually it'll just overflow.
Okay. All right, I guess we can go proceed. Thank you for updating me. This is a very lovely place. I like what they've done with it. Very homey.
It's the. I wish we had the narration of The Watcher, since I've been watching the What If. I've been seeing the. No. I literally stopped at the. I started watching the zombies one, and then I had to go to bed. But
but in Doctor Strange, he does he's like, huh?
He's talking to him. Yeah. It was so weird to see the Watcher actually starting to take a participating role, even at the very end when he was trying to stop the universe from imploding. He was like, I can't do anything. Hands are tied. Sorry, brother.
You knew what you were doing. You knew not to do this, and you did it anyways.
It was sad, but it was awesome. Anyway, sorry. Let's get back into this awesome story.
A Watcher is very much like a teacher. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, you did. Oh, I totally will let
have
you.
The turntables.
Well.
All right.
The consequences.
Which is our artwork for the evening.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, God,
okay.
Why?
Here we go.
That?
Because the DM's ready.
Just went.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have the music on. Dang it.
It's game time.
Yeah, so to give you an idea of what you're walking into, Ivar, because we finished the order up last week. Wow, that's how recently in my brain it worked out. Yeah, Beric just unleashed, a 30-round burst directly into this thing. It looked like it took some damage, not a great deal, but it's at least corporeal enough that it is doing something. But you come walking into this and you have this cloud of acrid smoke that's hitting your nostrils. You're not even sure how you got there or how long it's been since you started from the top and got down to the bottom. It was kind of this winding, spiraling, sort of crazy Looney Tune carnival in your head the whole way down. But you somehow managed to actually get there. The chamber that you walk into is perfectly round. It has some kind of load-bearing structures that are all naturally grown, like stalagmites into the stalactites, that kind of thing, going around the outside edges. But there's already some significant destructive signs from the battle that's apparently just kind of getting underway. The creature that you encounter at the far end has these whipping tentacles that are just kind of coming out, and then you realize that they're not tentacles, they're actually tongues from the various mouths that are all along the body here. It is mildly bipedal in its formation. The head is not really formed, nor is it really anything that you would consider to be truly morphed. It has almost a smoky, vapory-like quality to it, but you can see the undulating mouths going off all the main parts of its larger aspects of its body, and the golem is nearest it, probably about 15 feet away, and moving towards it. The group stands to your right and off, by one of the walls, apparently an entryway that looks like an enormous tunnel. So, you're just kind of scratching your head because you don't really remember exactly how that got here either. But the threat is definitely real because your danger sense is finally going tick, 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 and, smashing that needle all the way against the end there. The most important thing that you are going to take note of is the fact that everybody seems to be kind of in this sort of spread out formation, trying to keep, more or less trying to keep themselves kind of clumped together. And with the creature and its whipping tentacles, it does make sense. But you're able to react because it looks like it's coming back from something, because there are plumes of smoke, mist, and vapor that aren't part of the creature. It looks like some kind of impact along with the recent firing of Barrick's plasma rifle, which is what explains that acrid smoke. What?
We're fighting smoke.
Kind of. It looks like some kind of humanoid form inside of smoke. But you can see, like I said, mouths that are undulating all across its torso and main parts of the body. Even from its legs.
This looks very interesting. Guys, this is Ivar. Can you copy?
Who are you calling?
Copy. Barrick, Riv,
Holy shit, he's
John.
here. That's what Riv's reaction is. Holy shit, he's here.
So Colt's just standing there going, "Fuck you doing? Do something!"
Well, you want me to get rid of smoke?
Oh,
Yes,
Where there's
please.
smoke, there must be fire. So, Ivar will bring fire to this, right?
Ivar, hurt the fucker.
Ivar, don't worry. Ivar will try something. And what Ivar wants to do, since you said the smoke's moving around.
Well, like this, you've got a coalescent silhouette that is there. Like as you can see, an obvious bipedal form. It's very exaggerated, much taller than a normal human, like 7.5, 8 feet tall. But it looks vaporous.
Got it. How much of this is within Ivar's 200-foot?
Oh, it's all within. Everybody is.
Okay, great. Ivar just kind of looks at it and sips on his Bloody Mary.
Unending.
And what he wants to almost do, smoke has movement to it, is he wants to just halt the movement of smoke. Almost like, you know, when you have smoke going and there's breeze, it's moving around, but the moment the breeze stops, like the smoke just kind of hangs there. He wants to cause the atoms that are moving around the smoke to just come to a stop. Almost just like, we need to stop this.
Okay.
And so, to make magic happen, Ivar sips. He looks and says, "We need to stop this," and he just kind of almost like does a negating motion, and wills the atoms in and around this being to come to a halt.
Make your roll. It's going to be a target.
What is
9.
my target? Sir? Target 9. Okay.
Whew.
Here's the question. Does Ivar feel lucky on this, or should Ivar just play it? Would it be better to play it as Ivar attempts to do this, and it's like, oh, that's not good.
You have tactics?
I was going to say, if you can make a tactics roll.
Yeah, I'm going to do a quick tactics roll.
Tactics.
Okay.
Well, all right, 18
How about
on the die.
18? Oh, wait, and then we have to add 10 to that, so that's 28.
Damn, that's a good strategery coming your way.
Well, what you're trying to do is just stop it. You're not doing anything explosive or technically damaging. Repercussions from that would probably be less than likely, but it would also give you an idea as to what this thing's capable of. So in other words, do you need to expend any luck? You can basically just test it and go from here without having to go any further. However, the fact of the matter is that it is a botch, so be careful with that. Because if you decide not to do anything about it, the last time you had a botch, it ripped a hole in reality.
Yeah, so if Ivar wanted to bump... I'm trying to think how... I have 9 points of luck. How can we best use this to maximize So if I bump those 1s up, I go to 0, and then I'd have to bump up the 8, and I'm not lucky. That would use up all my luck.
I would spend 8 luck.
Damn, dude.
That would definitely do it, but you wouldn't suffer a botch.
And if you just spent 4 luck to get rid of the 1s, you'd be at neutral.
Yeah, a neutral outcome is a lot better than a botch.
No, absolutely. But I want to see. So Ivar goes up and he negates, and he kind of gets this moment where you look and like you see almost like a level of shock in Ivar, and then he comes back in and adds like a second motion, and Rib recognizes that there's magic there. Barrick is like, I think this is magic, and Colt realizes, I would take it with his knowledge, that Ivar lost control of the magic, and he's now trying to regain control of it, and he's going to spend those 8 points, and leaves Ivar now with 1 luck to negate the 1s and get one of those 8s up to a 9, so he has 1 degree of success.
All right, so you nearly lose your grip. This thing manages to feel your presence, and not only does it violently reject the influence of your will, it damn near sends you on your ass whenever you attempt to make that happen. You regain control and snap that whole willful element shut, getting it to actually solidify to some degree, or at least stop being so capable of movement. So you still, the excitable particles that are composing it, be it atoms or whatever, but the material that it is starts to just kind of like pull to a near stop. Like a candle flame that's not being hit by wind, it just kind of goes straight up. It doesn't even look like it's moving. However, there is one small hitch. You can feel that your grip, your will, especially on this thing, this entity, is becoming corroded. The longer you try to hold on to it, you have to realize that you actually have to maintain it. This isn't just simple concentration. It is like you actually have to start emphasizing energetically that you want the order to remain. And it is struggling to do that. The arcane energy is beginning to fall apart at the moment that it becomes something orderly. And so it is beginning to decay, and you can feel that within your sphere of influence.
Very interesting. John, do you know this thing does not like order?
What?
Ivar tried to stop things, to bring order to this chaos, and it did not like it. Perhaps, John...
No shit!
John, have you ever thought that perhaps one of us should try to bring order to it and the other should try and bring chaos to it and see what happens?
You want to rip it apart? Fine, fucking rip it apart.
No. I don't rip apart. I keep from ripping apart. You rip it apart, and we do it at the same time.
You're insane. And he just leaves
I'm Ivar. I'm Ivar.
And in the cult's head, he just hears, "Mother knows best. Better than the rest. Mother knows best."
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Well, either way, you've got Dravis in the background. It's like, we could talk about it later. Get it? Like, he's just basically emphasizing that, now would probably be the time to start doing something. Bill, you're up.
Wait,
so as Dravis says that, the cults, because you've got the Dawnbreaker and you've got Buddy, and he just looks at Dravis and says, "It's a process. We work through it." Go on, Ken.
I was going to say, we ended with, it was going to be the enemy's turn. Like, he hasn't done anything after he attacked. Or did you say he...
No, so I have the exact initiative order here, and Barrick ended. He was last in the initiative order. Then Ivar just...
See if you look in the Night City stuff, it's like me rolling all those dice.
Yeah, and I thought we had ended with the. I'm fine with if we're able to go again. I just don't want to compromise your game's integrity.
No, this is the game's integrity. Like I said, Barrick was last in the initiative order. Ivar got his little hit in because he literally shows up as last, and then it's Bill again because the enemy doesn't go until after Dravis.
Okay, never mind. Okay. Continue. Sorry.
So Colt just looks at Dravis and goes, "It's part of our process." At which he comes back and goes, "Buddy, bad man. And then Buddy, the little boy who's dressed like that, that like little Damien child. He's just all pristine and everything. And says,
I threw him a Werther's original earlier.
Yeah, and he says, "He not bad man. He give me candy." I'm like, "No, buddy. That is a bad man." Oh.
Hi, buddy. How are you, buddy? Long time no see.
And then you see that like innocence like drop, as like and the jaw kind of unhinges, and he goes, "Bad man." And as he does that, you just see like the circle sphere of energy, of like green energy, just like pulsating, and it's cold. Like the environment gets cold, and 4 beams pulse out of the orb and fire towards the target, basically where Barrick had hit it, in that in the Golem surface-to-air missile point.
The SAM.
Damn.
Yeah, we call it a GAM.
Golem to air.
If you wanted to call him Samus, that would be totally awesome.
I played Civ for like a good 15 years before I realized SAM battery was surface-to-air missile battery. Like, I just never thought about it.
Yeah, they're SAMs.
So it's 4 different blasts. Do you want me to treat it as 1 roll or 4 rolls?
You can go ahead and roll on 4 of them because it'll be 4 direct hits that you're trying to make.
And we're gonna use 1 luck to convert that 1.
Gotcha.
He's down to 4 luck.
You can see that the strange structure of whatever's holding him in place begins to shiver a little bit, and there's actually kind of this debris, almost like ash, that's coming off. You can hear a cracking sound like there's something crystalline happening, but you don't see any of the crystals that you guys are surrounded by being, like, meddled with. It's something to do with the entity that's being trapped at the moment. When these things come into it, now it can't move, so it's kind of at a deficit. What is the damage for thems?
50 a pop.
Nice. Alright. These green lit beams of light rip into it, and you can see that they're actually doing some kind of damage, but yet still it manages to sustain itself. You're doing something, it's penetrating, but for whatever reason it's not having the rigorous impact that you were hoping for. Knowing this, however, anybody normally would be completely vaporized by those things. So this thing has got some pretty incredible strength attached to it. Just the Barrick mumbling face.
What are you even saying?
27 tactics for the cult. He's basically the John persona is watching this reaction, and tactically, what is with a 27? What is his assessment? Do you want me to roll a cult as well?
You can if you'd like, but tactics is good enough because you're observing the current, you're observing the actual damage that's being done.
So he's taking into account what Ivar said versus the reaction, what he just saw Buddy do.
The thing is that this creature seems to be heavily resilient, just period. You also have taken note of the fact that anything arcane seems to be kind of degenerative, because you felt you and Ivar have not talked, but you felt the same thing. Your intent to try and cause it to stay in one particular format met with extraordinary resistance. Not simple kind like you're dealing with something normally. Like, basically, normal arcane energy just begins to deteriorate. It starts to fall apart because you're dealing with particles and antiparticles, basically. So it's canceling something out. However, you can definitely tell that there's damage being done. It's just not significant with these particular attacks so far. The raw energy attacks don't seem to be doing the trick. Not that you can tell.
Okay. So the cult just kind of bellows out, energy. It's like, magic and energy ain't doing shit.
I could have told you that.
And then he just does this and goes, Dawnbreaker! Boom! And he pulls out his hands like this, and he gathers up stone around him. So he's like drawing stone from the ground, and he's kind of crafting this with 6 arete, this stone spear.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to, so he's just like doing this, and you just see like dust and rock all coalescing and merging into one like stone spear as he just fires it off right into that center point. And he goes, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. And then he goes, oh, sorry, and he goes, Dawnbreaker. And then you just say, yes, I see what you're doing, my friend. I shall follow up with a smash.
Gotta watch My Hero Academia one of these days.
Oh, you
Good
do?
show.
It's a brilliant. So we're gonna
obsessed with it, and she's never watched it.
Okay, so we're gonna do 6 arete.
Okay.
So it's gonna be forces. I guess it's gonna be little bit of 1 force, 2 matter, 3 prime.
Okay.
So
A bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning.
love that movie. Underrated movie.
Yeah.
Sean William Scott with The Rock.
That was the official pass the torch to The Rock for action comedies.
Yeah.
What's the target?
Well, given the fact that you're working with, literally the material around you, it's going to be a 7.
You're using the crystal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole area here is made out of crystal, so that's the stuff that you have available to you materially.
Let's go all Kryptonian. Get it trapped.
We'll get rid of one of those fails.
Okay.
So he's down to 3 luck.
Okay, and you got 2 successes.
He's down to 29 SFR.
Okay.
And then after that, for his third attack. So his third attack is basically just Dawnbreaker going, ha ha! And then he gives him and says, "Ah, well, you may be made of smoke, but I have something a little bit more substantial. Thoughts, boom, and prayer." And then he just he does basically the 2 smash.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack after that, because that'll be what sends it forward.
So it's basically 2 strikes.
Mm-hmm.
1d10 plus.
Alrighty.
And his and basically his damage for thoughts and prayer is 27 and 30 respectively.
So 57 in total, but what about the magic in this case? You were using all 6, so what would a normal what would a normal spell cost damage-wise?
Well, if we're going off of buddy stuff.
Well, I'm talking about the crafting of the crystalline material itself.
What do you mean damage-wise? It's
like if you were casting lightning using forces, this is the same idea, but you're basically just creating material. But it's using the force it's using kinetic force, subjugated by, Dawn, of course.
Yeah, power rank times 8 plus will.
Right. So your rank total is what?
My power rank. Well, he was using the power. He was using 6 Arete.
Right. Is that his rank in magic, like arcane magic or whatever that is? The power rank itself.
He has an Arete of 6.
That's not his power rank though. So like in this case, he's using 6 of those, and he has forces, which is rank what?
3. Matter 2. Prime 3.
There you go. So 8. That's 80 plus your will is 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 90, and then you add 57 to that. That's 147 if it works all out together.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Combined. All right, so you have this crazy display where Colt creates this kind of like cone-shaped column of pure crystal. The Dawn comes up behind it, gives it a 1-2 punch, sending it forward with this concussive force, kind of like a bullet out of a gun. And it goes hurtling towards the target. Again, it can't necessarily move, but you can hear that crackling still kind of coming through, like it's beginning to corrode whatever it is that the influence that Ivar had. It crashes into the entity at this point. Whoop.
Post in the wrong area. Sorry.
You better be sorry.
And the hall monitor.
Yeah. So he hits it, and then all of a sudden you just see the Dawnbreaker like, that was well done. What say you, friend Merrick?
Nicely handled.
So, the entity is hit sort of along the side of its chest area here, because of the angle that they started at. It's clearly not dead, but the crystal structure seems to be lodged into its body. This is not unusual, remembering your, like the sightless man, your encounter with him. It seems that they can take a lot of punishment physically without having a lot of trouble. It kind of does this like half crackle stumble. The only problem with what's going on now is that there seems to be some sort of a reverberation after those impacts occurred. And with the being crafted and the rest of it, John, I need a sanity check, and then we have Dravis, who's got to come up next. Okay, buddy boy, let's see what you got.
Okay, well, here we go. 1d100.
Yeah.
I was wondering, why have we not trapped this thing yet?
It runs on Pokemon rolls. We have to weaken it first.
It'd be too easy for it to resist everybody if it was literally a full mind and body.
We're good.
Okay. Yep.
So it just needs to go crazy? I can just open my trench coat.
Oh. We don't all need to go crazy.
Dravis takes the next point at this time, where he ends up coming into the front, aims his rune lock, goes right down the shaft of it since it's still not quite moving, fires 3 shots right at the baseline point where you can see a dent from the impacts of the punches that were left behind. His shots managed to actually shatter the crystal, sending reverberated vibration all the way down it. The sound, however, is ear-piercing, causing everybody to kind of like do that wincing thing. Even your dampers are having a little trouble with it because you get feedback from it.
Yeah.
There's a screech from the creature as well. There is a sudden expulsion of light that seems to be kind of coming from all of the exposed crystal that is now shattered and on the floor. You can see that there's a similar kind of situation. That's where the impact site was, where the golem managed to land just after making its rather crazy little descent into its target. With the rest of it, it basically snaps free of the current restraint. You can feel the magic Ivar just kind of like crumble to dust as it finally comes out of it, just shortly before Dravis manages to actually pull things through.
And Ivar, as that happens, you see him because like he's been holding that negation, and he just drops, and Ivar just has this like, oh, that's not good.
Again, the thing screeches furiously at everybody. And what you don't really... well, you don't know exactly what to expect. This probably wasn't it, because you can see this sudden, like, fracturing in its own body, similar to the crystalline structure that was shoved into it. It becomes sort of broken off, and you can see it withering out and pulling away from the center line. And there are two others that have now come out of where it's at, similar in form and structure, but they have strangely unique faces to them. One with Colt's expression right here inside of the misty smoky vapors, and the other looking like Barrick's wife, but nobody would know that except Barrick.
If anyone's noticing, they'll notice that Barrick kind of like hitches when
I don't think we're looking at each other right now, so
well, no, I just
yeah.
Would Ivar recognize this almost as like, has the outsider taken part of their sanity and incorporate made it incorporeal, made it a part of their being? Like, if we hurt this, are we gonna hurt Ivar, Barrick, and Colt?
You have no idea. It's the first time you've ever encountered anything like it.
Right now, right?
Yes, there are now 3 enemies where there were 1.
Okay. That's what I wrote down. I just want to make sure I heard you right.
Yep. Alright, so it splits into these. There is another onslaught, although this time it seems to be in the back of everyone's mind. I need will saves on everybody's part. Your target's 9.
9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Sorry. Remember, we roll how many dice per our will, right?
Yeah. Yes. Your die pool is equal to the number of your will.
What was our target? Sorry, 9. I just
9.
Screamed it out. Oh.
so I got 1 save.
Okay.
All of us had 1 except for Bill, who had 2.
Oh, does this count? Like I have Iron Will,
Yeah, it's a will save, so yes.
so I have 2.
Wait,
Good.
I think. Yeah. Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah, +1 automatic success for a will check. Cool.
What
Good.
is going on with this?
Yeah, no, I'm with 4 successes because I have Iron Will too.
Well, I have Iron Will 3.
Riv, do you have Iron Will?
No.
Oh shit.
I forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah, good on you for pulling up the advantages and disadvantages.
I've been typing them.
That's true. I guess you're pretty reasonably knowledgeable right now.
Someone is like, "How do you research things?" I was like, "I just type them again." And then they get stored. 4th grade birthday gone. Advantages and disadvantages saved.
Oh, that's sad.
Who has a will lower than 8? Anyone?
Riv does.
Okay.
My will's 7.
Okay.
Mine is 8.
Okay. Damn. I really did make this guy a bastard. Okay. So, except for Colt, I believe. Nope. Drew. Damn. Holy shit. Because you got... Oh, no. Colt managed to overcome it as well. Alright, so Colt and Drew. You feel something try to creep inside of your head to do something, and it fails, but not by much.
You mean Barrick and Colt?
Huh? Colt and Drew, you. So Ivar and Colt, yeah.
Okay.
You feel it fail. The rest of us don't notice that we've been taken over.
Oh god, even
But I
Dravis.
thought that Scott had 2 successes.
He does, but he's rolling a contested die roll. You all were.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he's making a willful psionic attack, and so yeah.
Well, I have not poor rolls. They're just under the target.
Yeah.
Like 6s and 8s and stuff. They're just under the target.
Yeah.
Wait, don't I have reality grounding? Oh, it's not EMPs. Okay, never mind. I have a warding bracelet, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Ivar just looks at this thing and he's like, "You can't drive the insane."
Well, in this case, Riv, Dravis, and Barrick all suffer 24 psionic damage, and you're ending. You're having these wild and crazy delusions. Like, as far as for Riv, all those things that you saw when you were actually dealing with, like, the true sight from Purgatory and from the realms and the rest of it, all of it comes flooding back into one crazy collage of mass horror. So you're just on the ground screaming, frothing at the mouth. Same thing, like right now you've got Barrick on the basically kind of holding his head and shaking it back and forth and shouting on his own mind because his dead wife, well, nobody else can see it, is talking to him while it's approaching him, saying terrible and god-awful things. Nobody really knows what, but it's something that, you know, it's your worst fears, deepest, darkest secrets, anything that you may have relayed, and every single fear coming to reality right in front of you as this tormented, lost soul now.
You said 24 damage?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. I wrote it down.
Yep. And so Dravis, on the other hand, is screaming and, you know, he's talking, but all he can say is, "It's just not my fault." And you can see him like trying to like punch through the one of the walls. Like he's actually scrambled to one of the side walls in this domed area, and he's trying to break himself out. And like he's trying to either break himself out or get somebody out from the other side. Like there's a door there, but you can see he's taxing his armor because there's these massive energetic expulsions that are just erupting with every single impact.
I should have used luck. Oh well. I had one that was about to be a success, so oh well.
Which means, at this point, I will have, like, Barrick, Riv, just make me a quick sanity check. You are going to be at, like, minus 20 just because of the fact you're already down here. So,
20%?
luck. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm still good. Or, I passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the 30s, buddy.
So, how does this work with health level penalties?
In this case, well, I mean, you took damage. It may not be physiological, but your body's being rent. So
what I mean is, I'm
like grad school
level in, so I have a -1. I'm in the second, or I don't know. I'm in the second category, so I haven't depleted it. I'm just wondering how
whatever health level you're in is the penalty you suffer from.
Okay, so I'm at a -1 penalty. Does that apply at all to a sanity
Not the sanity check, no.
It just is a +1 to your roll.
Well, he already applied that. I mean, our sanity was, yours is 80 and mine was 70. He said take 20% off of that, so.
Yeah, you guys were at a 20% penalty there.
Well, I know my wife is dead because I held her in my arms while she bled out.
Yep.
So.
But in this case, apparently she's back from the dead doing all kinds of stuff. What the F?
Lots of craziness going on in the out of character.
Yeah,
but
no
everybody
kidding.
breezed right past my cool nano gun that I'm gonna get. Because I want that Bloodsport gun.
Who doesn't?
That's all I need.
Alright, so it's basically expended itself. This whole thing is going to go right back down to Drew. Because Barrick is busy struggling with his own mind, so it's going to go blip like that, so it's going to go bounce right down to Drew here.
Barrick's turn
Same
is
with Riv, yeah.
arguing with
Riv and Barrick are just screaming, yeah.
Luckily, it only lasts one round. You guys managed to succeed, because if you didn't, you'd still be blubbering insane.
I was going to say why this is lasting. Ivar's actually wondering if he has the ability to almost shield the group from this. Would that be a tactics roll?
Well, the problem is how do you shield somebody from their own thoughts?
Juggernaut helmet.
But I don't think Juggernaut was shielded from his own thoughts.
True, just from outside.
It'd
Right.
be like a
To look
bullet
at himself
bouncing
in the
around in
mirror.
the skull. Tick, 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 tick.
This thing is causing them to get their own thoughts out. It's almost like I want to put a door in their thoughts. But Ivar's looking at this, so he realizes that, and like all this is going on in Ivar's head. Like Ivar's very like calmly figuring things out, and he's like, "Wait a second. The crystals seem to hurt it. I was able to hold it for a while so we could hurt it, but then it broke away, so it changes all the time. So if I bring it order it does not like, what happens if Ivar brings it chaos? Last time Ivar tried to stop the atoms of this creature, Ivar now wants to speed them up. He wants to speed him up almost to the speed of light, and he's like, John, I think I'm gonna speed this thing up. What you think?
What?
It'll be fine. Don't worry. What could go wrong? But you may want to cover your eyes. And he wants to take the atoms of the smoke and spin it, but almost spin it into a point that he can spin it into a single point of entity. So like it's being spun to a center point and almost like smashing the atoms together of this damn creature. Oops. So D, what's the magical target for Ivar to spin this party out of control and spin it round?
You spin me round, baby.
Well, in this case, you're wanting to excite it, which is easier, but it's also going to be more difficult to control. So at the same time, it's like basically fan the flames, but keep it contained. You're gonna go. Think about like a super
easily
collider.
A 9.
Yeah.
I'm super colliding this motherfucker. It's actually 2 degrees of success. That 1 doesn't count.
I heard about that.
Yep. Alright, so you're trying to cause these things to like crash into each other is what you're trying to do, or like trying to rend them apart more or less. If I'm taking what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, he's spinning them. He's spinning their being, their essence of atomical essence, or whatever that smoke is made from. He's now just, let's spin it fast, and let's spin it in a chaotic way, but in that chaotic way that it's being contained in an area, so they just start bashing into each other in the hopes that it can destroy itself, or at least do it some damage.
Well, what is the damage for anything that you would utilize inside your, like in this particular case? Because I'm trying to remember. We had it written down somewhere, I believe.
Do we? His brass knuckles do 20. The rope of nothingness is 16. But where is?
What's the level? What is the level of your reality shift?
Level 5.
Yeah, so either way, it's going to be directly like 60 points of damage raw. Easy.
Going raw dog.
I don't think we've ever clearly
plus
set up.
I'm remembering it now very slowly because it's the level, it's the same thing that Bill gets to do. It's his rank, which is always times 10, so your rank is like, your baseline is 50, plus your will, which is 10, so that's 60 damage right there, and then it's the number of successes on top of it. Which I believe they are like 10 per success, and you have 2. So that would be like 80 damage right there, just kind of throttling this thing.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, in this case, you cause them to fluctuate, collide. You can see it becomes less corporeal, and it kind of careens into each other, the three of them sort of intermixing. There's a cyclone, which is starting to cause people to sort of be, like, drawn inward, as there is, like, a, causal implosive effect from causing that much vortex in a single space. So you have to stop it fairly quickly before it becomes all-consuming. But you definitely cause it to be disoriented, and you've done something, because there's snapping, cracking, and popping that's happening from within it. You can see the three entities themselves are sort of, like I said, less cohesive than what they were before, but they still maintain their physical shape. You do feel like something has happened, like you've managed to cause a little bit of, like, roughing around the edges. It did do something, but they're holding together. This entity is unlike anything you've ever seen. There are two, though, that look like they are in worse shape than the other, which is an interesting significance.
This thing does not like when we go between chaos and order, John. Perhaps you can slow him down real fast, and then we spin him like a top.
Like a record?
Round, right, round, like round, round. Baby,
You
go
got-
round, round.
And he says, "You
There's
got."
no way Ivar knows what a record is. He's like
and he goes, "You got it, baby."
Ivar was born in the 40s. In the 2040s.
Alright, well, anyway. You're up there, Colt.
Okay.
Let the excitement reign.
Sorry, long week.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Actually, the last 3 months have been long. Like, this week has been, like, relaxing at work, so I'm just like, fuck, my body is just crashing. And upon myself. It's kind of fun. Not really. Kind of sucks.
Excuse me.
So basically, he just does that, and space-time. So he starts making hand motions like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like peasant sorcerer shit. This bitch. So he's doing the hand motions from Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
And he uses forces, space, and then 1 prime.
Okay.
To essentially, so as Drew bumps it into chaos, he tries to combine them back into order.
Okay. Let her rip. See what you get.
Tater fucking chip. Okay. Okay, it's down to 23 SFR. And then as he's doing this, Buddy just kind of just like cracks his neck, like uncharacteristic to like a small child. And you just hear this odd voice out of Buddy going, "Oi, oi, oi, my time to play." And then Buddy just kind of morphs into the bastard.
Oh, no.
And Ivar just kind of reaches out and is like, "Bloody Mary, my friend?"
Oh, no. As soon as we kick this fucking little bastard in the fanny, so to speak. And then, let's see, that's 6d10. Explode 10, fail 1. What's my target?
9.
Alright. Okay. He's going to use 1 luck. Actually, he's going to use up all his luck.
Okay.
So he's going to get 2 degrees of success.
Gotcha. Alrighty then.
Bind it back up. So as John does this, Bastard is just coming back into form. And then you just see basically the Dawnbreaker just go, Henry Cavill like cock the arms.
Okay. Well, in that case, you got 2 successes, which means that's 20 on top of whatever your damage is normally. I believe it was 60 for you? Or 80. I think it was 80.
80. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as John coalesces it, the Bastard's gonna basically... so what happens after he does that? Because the Bastard's reaction will depend on that.
You can see that there are... You've only seen reactions like this in science labs. Your sudden influx of powerful order on something that is chaotic. Try to imagine flash freezing water. That's kind of what happens, is that you get this incredible crystalline, like, shards of spiky spined, almost like thorns all over each one of them. And there's one of them that actually completely shatters. There are now 2. And you have the one that is just kind of like trying to get up and move around, while the other, which was closest to the group, takes the same thing and is becoming rippled with this strange and sudden, effect of stasis. Not to be too cliche, but for more or less, that's literally what happens. They get like locked into place, and then you hear crackling and then a burst, because it's like heat and cold being put together at the same time, which cause it to explode. So there's like this burst, and you can see it just kind of like writhing on the ground, the 2 of them that are remaining.
So as they're writhing on the ground, Bastard just goes, "Oh, pretties." And then all of a sudden, 2 chains burst up on the minor target, and 3 chains burst up on the major target.
Okay.
So, okay. I'm just going to do 2 rolls for 2 and 3 respectively. So the 3 chains is the 30, and the 2 chains is the 25.
Alright.
And the chains do 50 damage a pop.
Nice.
And then we'll go to my 3rd melee, which is the Dawnbreaker.
Let her rip. See what he's got. They are now bound. You can see the chains ripping right into them. They are in no state to be able to counter. It seems that they're like fluctuating in their sense of reality, apparently. So Don can do what he's going to do.
Detroit Smash!
Though I gotta say, man, they gotta start. They gotta teach. They gotta teach him how to punch. He's gonna break his hand.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's got his knuckles out like this.
It's anime. let it go.
I mean, there's a character that's a frog girl, right? Maybe that's his flaw. Is he doesn't know how to use his thumb properly.
So 27 and 30 respectively, and 27 and 30 respectively for the damage, ironically. So as he just says, "Oh, thank you, my friend," and he goes,
just the change, just.
And then he goes, "Heaven and hell," and then he just goes, boom, on both of them. And so you just see this like golden icon of virtue just go up into the air and
gorilla slam them.
Yeah.
All right. The secondary one disperses on impact, while the primary apparently is like suddenly writhing away and more or less doing this wriggling. It's almost like an insect, but it's got way more amorphous feature than that.
How did the chains affect it? Because it's got 3 chains piercing it.
It's being held, but try to imagine holding something that's completely cephalopod. It's like it's squeezing in and out and moving around. Like the chain's holding, so it's not going far, but it is definitely moving a lot more than what you'd get with somebody with more structure.
Okay.
Dravis, unfortunately, is not able to break whatever mental curse he's under, still bashing at that wall. All right, let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Ken, you're talking. Can't hear you.
Oh, apparently it muted me. Did my golem it's still around? Did it do anything in the last round, or did it like stop moving when I lost?
It stopped moving when you lost your mental capacity.
Okay, got it. So I gained it back.
Buffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little beach ball.
All right, Bill.
If you're counting targets, though, that's another one.
All right, so Dawn is sitting right there after he gets this good crash in. This thing lashes out with venom and fury directly at Dawn here, given where he's at. So you are going to make a dodge 3 separate times.
And he also has armor of 90.
Right.
Okay, let's see what my dodge is. Yay!
You keep confusing me every time you say dawn. I'm like, what? How is it my turn?
22. Okay, if I actually knew how to do this right. So 1d19. I swear I copy-paste all day. You think I could actually copy-paste now? 25, 28, 28.
Not bad.
Alrighty. Let's see here. So, you see these whipping, lashing tongues coming out. Dawn manages to juke 2, but not before finally being hit right about here by a third one, and you can hear it screeching guttural, like, fantastic. Fucking love that shit.
Yeah, but you get licked.
So you just see the Dawn going, oh yeah!
But then he gets smacked with this other one here, and it's a full critical. So it is... You said it's 90, so yeah, and unfortunately it's going to break right through that armor too. So you'll end up taking a good 72 damage from that.
Damn.
And I need you to make a will check.
Nice. I mean, not nice, but you know.
Impressive. Ooh, licky tongue attacks. It's super effective. Ooh, but I wouldn't lick a... What is it, a Grimer? Muck? I wouldn't lick
a muck.
I would not lick a muck.
It's clear that, the muck is reacting out of non-consent.
Yeah. Well, and remember that the Arbok is Cobra backwards. So,
yeah.
You know, what's muck?
Yeah, right?
Ken.
Okay, he makes it.
What was your will?
95. My will is...
Yeah, you have
10,
to make a make a will check, not sanity.
Will check. Okay, sorry.
No problemo.
Alright.
Oh, God.
What's my target?
It's 9.
Oh, of course it is. Dice Maiden is having issues.
Do you have Iron Will?
Yeah, I have 2 degrees of it. So I got 3 degrees of success.
Okay. So, you're lucky because you can feel something in your whole person. Like, Colt feels this crazy kind of like near infection start to try and breed inside of the skin of Dawn, and because you're all interconnected, you realize that everybody is suddenly at risk. and you can feel that it is nothing more than just pure corrosion. And it feels like it was about to begin, and then it doesn't. But you're also reeling from the massive impact as Dawn just gets completely smoked with that one hit.
And the thing is, what everybody sees is as Dawn gets smashed and smashed back because of the force, you actually see the bastard and the cult, because this is one of the first times you've ever seen all the personalities get hurt, at least one of them. They all react the same way. They all kind of clutch their chest.
Please tell me they say mother.
All right, Riv, you are snapped out of it. You finally come back from one nightmare to a lesser nightmare, realizing that the creature's still alive.
Being a licking.
Yep, it's going bananas in the center of the room. What was 3 is now 1, so you don't know exactly what happened, but you come aware just as soon as you see Dawn go like that and smash into a wall nearby.
Okay, so imagine that she's on the ground, right? Because she was terrified, and so the way she gets up though is she smashes her fist into the ground and activates one of her runes. Mm-hmm. I activated it way up there, so I've been preparing this for the last few rounds. So this is something everyone has not seen before. She's actually overloading one of her abilities.
Ooh.
Yeah, so...
You get to pull up the table.
Huh?
You get to pull up the table and see what overloading does.
Yeah, well, I mean, in this case, I'm overloading my psychokinesis, so I'm getting a psycho boost. And so what you see is
Big brain time.
Yeah, well, you actually see energy coming from her at this point. Normally you just see it coming from the gauntlet, but she gets up and pushes her the gauntlet together in a fighting kind of pose. And let's see, what I'd like to do, D, is there, when I look around the room, is there any debris the crystalline forms that have
there's there's the shattered pillar that was shoved into the creature. There's also from the small crater where your golem hit, there's some shattered pieces there too, yes.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is... What?
These are classic. Oh, we're getting Phoenix, we're getting... mode. Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is...
way better.
Is a few things. The first thing I'd like to do is, since I can control kinetic force, I want to almost... The first thing I'd like to do is put a kinetic booster on the ground. I want the golem to run at it and use that, and it shoots him up into the air and arcs him towards the creature. Mm-hmm. So that we have that first thing again. But I'm not gonna make him do the rock. What I'd like to do is take all of the as much of the sharp crystals and enhance them and just make them into kinetic missiles and just skewer this thing from every angle.
Right, you're basically doing a fully controlled, angled blast with all of the shrapnel that you have available.
Yep, and it is double the elemental damage. I did the calculations. If this does raw damage, it's 238 damage. Yeah.
All right.
It's 32 plus 7 plus 80 times 2. So.
The next question that I have for you then, sir, is that did you roll an actual attack roll yet?
No, not yet. I want to describe what I was trying to do so you can tell me what I need to roll.
She's been charging up my laser.
Alright. Do your thing.
Do
your thing, Jellybane.
Hour line.
This is melee, right?
Yeah. Melee.
Do I do it one or twice or what?
You're doing one for the golem and one for the thing, but honestly, it's all kind of happening simultaneously. You might as well just make it one, just because you're just kind of going
I'm overloaded, yeah. And we get to deal with my the whatever it's called, the fatigue when I'm done, exhaustion.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Roll 1d. 10. My will is 7. My skill rank is
10.
I forget what the focus skill. I have a focus skill on melee. What does that help at all in this case?
Yeah, it should.
That is the one that we talked about where it lowers the difficulty, which is the same as increasing the.
Yes. So you basically have you basically just have, a bonus to do what you need to do. It's also prone and the rest of that. So.
All right. So that's 7 and 8 is my melee is 8 and my will is 7. So that's the roll.
Okay. Woo wee!
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use my luck. I'm gonna kick that up to a 10. I'm gonna use 3 points of luck to kick it into a 10.
All right.
Push it. I like it.
So now I get to roll again.
You gotta love luck, dude. You're like, I'm auto-critting, damn it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this seems like she's bending the force to her will now.
Literally.
That's how I'm pulling it. So it's 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Yeah.
Yeah, 28 total, but considered a crit since you actually got the 10. Yeah.
Well, and there's a little bit of rage behind that because she's been mind fucked a few times in this time. Yeah. And so that was actually what when she smashed into the ground to activate her runes, that was not out of like I want to get up. It's like frustration, I'm pissed kind of thing.
What was that damage that you were pushing out again?
According to psychokinesis says that it does intelligence plus 32 damage plus 10 per level of the gauntlet. Yeah. So that's 32 plus 7 plus 80, and then psycho boost is 2 times that. So it's 238.
That's all I needed to know.
Yeah. I just want doing my math, showing my work.
Oh, fucking hell, man. What is it with this
chick? And of course,
and just
the gauntlet, or the golem is also careening into him.
Yeah, which I'm getting to that. God damn.
I wanted to make the first time I did an overload flashy.
You did.
Because the last time we fought, I actually could have had the Iron Brother. I could have had 2 Iron Golems, but I decided to keep the Psychokinesis so I could have a little bit of flexibility there.
Yeah. Well, not a hard thing to do. Because, okay. Alright, so we get to a point here where Dravis is punching the wall, and then suddenly things go from loud noises, shrieks, cries, crashing bangs, and explosions to suddenly deadly silent, because the air manages to shift in the entire room to such a degree. It's kind of like that thunder without sound, and it just goes boo, like that, pushing everything out. The shrapnel at the center of the room, including all the shards from the pillars and everything else, just kind of like do this thing where it looks like a wave coming into the beach, and then they just go boom straight out, and the golem does this leap up right as that outward force occurs. There's such a cacophonous amount of pressure that causes this that you actually see like the warping visually of the golem and all those shards, and they impact the target. It actually breaks John's chain because of how bad that is. So, like, the chain that was holding it in place is gone, but this thing literally becomes imploded. Now, pretty much because you're kind of going explosive here, and you guys are in a contained space, thank God there's actually vents leading out, the stairwell and the freaking, the doorway tunnel. It's like, because most of that stuff just goes like that, shooting out like a bullet. But you guys are all just knocked back from the sheer concussive force, and I can't even allow a roll because of the sheer amount of physics involved with this. Explosions, especially in tightly knit areas, are devastating. And so you create an implosion, the outward burst. You guys are like that, and everybody just gets smashed up against that wall. Of course, the only person that's really kind of not affected by that is the epicenter of the psychokinetic force. So you've just got Riv pissed with her hair blasting back, and this thing just being completely you see it bounce around in really strange kind of ways before it finally slaps back down onto the floor. you can definitely tell it's got a lot more physical structure than what it had before. Mainly because of, whether it's from John's, particular arcane mysticism or what, you don't know. But it is for sure this thing is acting in a much more solid format by now.
Riv actually screams out, because obviously there's sound. She actually says, "Throw the Master Ball!"
Well, Barrick, you're up, and you're kind of a little bit delirious, having been shattered from your nightmare by this concussive blast. And you're just kind of like sitting there like in the corner of the dome trying to push yourself up like this. Kid you not, you've got a nosebleed, you're bleeding down your ears, although it's darker than your regular blood would normally be.
NW40.
Well, in this case, it's actually because of high levels of carbon, so it's turned a lot darker. So, but you're like wrestling yourself awake, and you can see this thing is kind of in a similar condition to yourself. Now or never is kind of what it feels like.
That's why Riv said throw the Master Ball.
So, yeah, Barrick is going to get himself up, t-shirt cannon off his shoulder, and start walking to get within range.
Alright.
If he had like a big 2x4, this would be his, walk tall.
Yeah.
Just like taking that slow walk to get into range.
Yep.
And he is going to charge it up and launch it. We decided it was. What did we decide it was? Rifle or heavy?
This is not heavy. It's technically a rifle because it's a handheld. Heavy would be something like vehicle mounted and shit like that.
Okay. So I'm gonna activate my adrenal to give myself the +1 boost to reflex.
Smart plan.
And all right. And I'm gonna just throw that out there. 33 with the t-shirt cannon.
That's so much. That's so much damage. Anyway, this thing kind of like pushes up. You can see third eye here, multiple eyes going like this across the top, but it's very humanoid in its expression. Extraordinarily large mouth, no lips or anything like that, but just kind of like it's capable, almost like a spider or other insectoid, where it's just raw chomping power up here. There's a lot of skeletal-like structuring in its body, but you can see like the holes and things and the damage. It is now, basically it looks like it's covered in glitter, but it happens to be the crystalline damage that was done from the massive implosion. Yeah. But it's like, it's not so much bleeding as you can see the vaporous, like it's just kind of crumbling apart, and you can see it's kind of looking down at itself, looking at you, and the eyes are basically looking at you, and you go like,
well, and he's gonna, be like muttering to himself, like, I did not fail her, like over and over, so anyone nearby would hear that, but
yeah,
I'm not gonna actually be loud because my kids are sleeping.
Yeah, and you let that thing rip. It's a sure shot. It literally rolled one underneath for the dodge and couldn't make it.
There we go.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not you.
I rolled in OOC. What a noob.
It actually fails. Holy shit.
Oh shit.
So you're like that, and you can see the thing just goes like that, gets stuck in here inside of its chest. You can see it look down, it goes to grab it, but you can see where the original, like the accelerant was, the cap just kind of like pops loose, and you can see where there's this smaller crystal on the inside and it just kind of looks down, and you can see like a shock kind of hit its face, and then like tries to do this, and it can't get it away, like it's trying to rip it out, but it doesn't want to touch it. There's a really loud kind of like internalization that hits everybody inside of their psyche, and it's kind of like words similar to like no, or this, like it's just kind of like freaking out or panic. And then whenever it starts to see that whole thing, it goes lunging straight for Barrick, basically wanting to tear him to pieces, completely letting go if there was any tactics to begin with, going straight for him. Right as he does that, there's this glimmer of light and darkness that surrounds it, so it's inverted. But there is this kind of crazy light, and as it gets right up to you, this thing just kind of goes whoop like that, and you can see that the weighted end from where it fired just lands like this, and you've got this little crystal kind of doing this number, but it just goes swirls all the way up on the inside, and it's gone. Deadly, deadly silence.
I'm gonna make a cool check.
Yeah. Go for it.
I guess 16. I'm just gonna say, like, as it's lunging, like, Barrick doesn't even flinch. He's just, like, staring at it as it, like, to a little crystal in front of him.
He does what now? I missed it.
So Barrick is, like, maintaining his composure. He's not, like, taking a step back defensively or anything like that as the creature's, like, lunging at him. He's just, like, staring at it, like, dead eyes. And it, gets spiraled into the little ball, whatever. Barrick is, like, emotionless in how he's not reacting to the creature. He's not afraid it's going to hit him or anything like that. So he's just maintaining his composure.
Yep.
Cool.
You can see that there's this kind of like small shimmer inside of the crystal, and the psychological Bill. God damn it. Oh my god.
Yes, the shoebox.
The shoe docs. I love the spurt.
Ivar tried to be cool too. I have shoebox.
Well, and it's just sitting, like I said, it's just sitting there bobbing because it's got kind of like a bottom, like the obviously it's the rounded tip from where it came in, but you can see that there's all kinds of inscription that is around the front part of it, and the magic that goes into this little thing is compact. Like it's arcane wise, it is very close to a micronuclear weapon. Not that one. Bit intense.
Yeah, if you want to give us a heart attack.
Yeah. But it's just sitting there and it's kind of bobbing and weaving because, like I said, the tip's weighted, but you can see this crystal protruding out, and it's in perfect geometric form. And all you can do is you can just pull it like this, will your shoebox into reality, and go, shoo.
I was hoping Ivar more just kind of looks at it and goes, it works. And then instead of picking it up, he almost uses his abilities to make it like hover. He puts it in the shoebox, closes it. I'll save that for later. And puts it away into his magic spot where he hides everything. Though we've never actually defined where it's at. It just like is there and then it's not.
That's his prison wallet.
Accurate.
Ivar's got himself an outsider. I'm so excited.
And Barrick's gonna tap the blunderbuster that was on his shoulder and go, maybe next time.
Well, you're all just kind of like reveling in this whole thing, and then you've got the shiny eyes as you guys have like, Dravis is finally just kind of slumped because the impact smashed him into the wall, and he caused himself to like, he's just sitting on his, sitting on his butt. He's still fully garbed, and
is he okay?
Barrick will go ahead and offer a arm to get him up off the ground.
Ivar looks at John and goes, "Look, it worked!"
I'm very happy for you. As Bastard goes, I need a fucking drink. And then you basically have the Dawnbreaker says, friend Dravis. You missed all the fun!
He's just like, the helmet recedes, and he's just like looking up at everybody. He's like looking at the wall. Oh shit! I didn't hurt anybody, did I?
Just yourself. And the wall.
He's just kind of looking around at everything else, and you can see that the glow in here is beginning to dim. And then there's kind of a fluctuation from the opposite side where you guys are at, and the entity that you've been calling Shiny Eyes just kind of emerges through that crystalline structure like it were air. Just comes right through it.
Oh, Void, you mean?
Barrett calls him Shiny Eyes, you call him Void. Nobody really decided on what the name was.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, what is your name, outsider?
He didn't want to be called anything. We asked him, and he was just like, I don't want to be...
I will call you Bob.
Friend Bob, welcome back!
I can't sense him anymore.
Well, that is because we have vanquished the villain.
So,
Bastard. Oh, could you shut him up?
So where does this put us with Dolorosa?
He looks
I
over...
say this...
Oh,
go on.
go ahead.
He's like, I say this puts us good. Although that depends on...
Isn't there one more
what
that we
Bob
have to deal
does
with?
next.
That's Void. Yeah.
So, Bob, what'll it be?
You're asking for my help to find the other brother.
Oh, that's right. There was 2 entities, wasn't there?
There's 2.
Yeah.
I thought he was the other entity.
Well, no. When we went to the Outlands, Wildlands. No, where are we?
You guys are in the
Outlands.
Wastelands.
Wastelands. That's the word. When you're in the
There's
Wastelands,
the
we
Wastelands,
found-
and then there's one in Purgatory.
Yeah, and we found Void in the Wastelands, but really the thing that was causing the trouble was the big nasty we just took care of.
Yeah,
I think.
Zayal. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
he had
that's
a
all
name.
Wastelands. We haven't taken care of Purgatory yet.
Yeah, and that's I think what Void is referring to.
Well, Bob, if you want to build good credit about being left in the world, maybe you should be invested in its, I don't know, salvation?
He kind of walks forward and gets a lot closer, a lot socially. He's a lot more close in his social distance than he was in the past, and he's just looking at me. He's like, I think I have a means to be able to help you maybe a bit further, but it'll take some time. As for finding my brother Averthrall, I'll do what I can.
Well, Bob, I think we all have a vested interest to be peaceable in this and make sure we save everyone, don't you think?
I believe it is one of your own scholars that says that not everyone can be saved, but we'll do our best. It is probably a good idea for us to leave. I'm certain that Solteris, the strange creature, is probably not doing too well since I've left him in front. I believe the Great Worm is coming this way. It will probably devour these ruins. We should probably be gone.
That's all you had to tell me.
I
Hey,
don't need convincing.
he's like, Bastard, would you mind? And then Bastard's like, and then fades off. And then Dawnbreaker's like, claps Barrick on the shoulder. Well, until we meet again, my friend, we shall vanquish many a foe. And as he says that, you just see him like fade off.
Keep it tight, Dawnbreaker.
Okay, now that nonsense gone, shall we fuck off?
I can get you back to the main gateway. He holds his hand up behind him, and a tunnel similar to what you guys had already experienced beforehand forms itself and snakes its way out into the greater distance. And he's like, don't be alarmed whenever you start to realize that things reverse. Gravity, I think you call it. No harm will come to you, I promise you that.
Colt just walks on and goes, well, tally fucking ho, and then walks right in.
Rope trudges in there too.
Bob, do you have electronic letters? They call them emails where we can get the hold of you. A phone number, perhaps? Pager?
I think I will be able to find you.
Oh, Ivar's really easy to find. I never lose him. But thank you for your help. And Ivar just kind of merrily goes on his way. You hear him singing and talking to himself. Last thing you hear is, I got the shoebox and it's got an outsider.
Right.
Barrick is gonna, shoulder with Dravis to the two of them to walk out.
Yep. And he doesn't actually stop you whatsoever. You guys get hauled out, and you leave this strange crystalline mess behind. It's not long before you're actually, your feet kind of, slide right off the surface of what you're walking on, and you're just going through, and you're kind of at this falling, it's what it seems like, but instead of the bottom becoming darker, it becomes a lot lighter, and then there's a shift. The pull causing you going from feet first to head first. And you're just vaulting through this tunnelway. And as you come out to a point, you start to slow down dramatically until you finally emerge at the top with just enough lift for everyone to kind of go forward about 5 feet up, and they land at the perimeter. And you can see in the distance, as you guys are standing at the threshold, and this spiral of silvery light just kind of flying your way at Mach 10, basically. And this worm that is where you guys used to be is plunging itself into the sands where the temple had been. And you got Solterra's ah! Like that. It's just let's go! Flying right back through the doorway again as you guys just hit ground and start moving through.
Hello, little fairy friend. Would you like some Bloody Mary?
And he just stops there. It's yes! But not in there! Like that, and just goes flying across, crossing the threshold.
Okay. Colt just kind of runs after him.
And everybody proceeds inward, going back into that strange wooded pathway.
Yeah, that's about right.
Nice.
We're going back to Purgatory next round.
Yep.
Little HUD on Barrick goes, mission update.
Travel to Purgatory.
I take it are we holding our luck for next time?
No, you guys have got a whole other proceeding to get to, so it'll reset. This is actually going to be the pause point for where we're at. I'm surprised that it landed so cleanly at the hour here.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, that was a fun evening.
So are we going to tabulate IP now or later?
Oh, I'm going to give you guys IP. I'm just going to get a calculate. I'm going to calculate.
It's got to calculate. We just figured this out in the last 2 weeks, Scott. How fast do we heal from our psychological damage?
Oh shit! You ask me important things like that. There's a whole thread about it.
I know, but I don't want to do math. I want you to do math for me.
Well, if you're healing yourself, like if you perform first aid on yourself.
Well, but this is psychological damage, so.
Oh well, psychological would be.
Did we ever cover that?
It's going to be considered like damage that you would. So if you wanted to treat it like first aid or medical help, you would just say therapy, literally.
Yeah. So if you're using first aid, then it will be a quarter of a health level per day. If you've got any rapid healing or speed heal or nanobots or anything like that, it would increase. But
wow, Riv's going to be in a bad place for a while then.
For medtech, if you have medtech, a half health level per day.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like everybody's going to be suffering from that one except for kind of Colt and Drew, strangely enough. But the crew ended up suffering some pretty downsizable issues.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
T.
Yeah.
So my my suit that I'm wearing provides me with 5+ body, and so that made it so that my health level was really high. But if I take off the suit, suddenly my health level goes down drastically to the point where I only have 2 health levels full as opposed to 5. So does that mean when I second to take off, I'm like, oh?
Maybe in a sense, like if you think about it psychologically, the suit is your kind of like protection, which is a mental thing. But as far as like the damage is concerned, like the 5 in body, like it shouldn't. Yeah, that's one of those weird circumstances where the formulas kind of go overboard because you're getting 5 artificial body just for the sake of strength and the rest of it, not really like your health levels are like boosting up because your physical body hasn't changed. It's just it's an exoskeletal enhancement. So you're technically at that point, but at this point in terms of like role playing and cinematics, you're going to feel stronger, and then taking the suit off, you're going to have a psychological repercussion. But in reality, you have the lower health levels regardless.
Right.
So
I'm at a -4 right now, so.
Barrick is going to let you use his therapy program that he worked on with the AI.
That's true. He did do that, didn't he?
Or you could just talk to the cult. Okay, let me talk to you about being crazy.
Just be damaging.
Well, see, you guys could go into brain dance. Like, literally, you guys could go into a state of, like, comatose virtual reality where it's all therapeutic. And that's actually how they deal with cyber psychos. Is that they go into brain dance.
Couldn't Ivar just touch them with the touch of Nirvana? I haven't used it in a while.
Yeah, you could heal them up in the sense that you can relieve them of the damage, but the psychological overshoot is definitely going to be there. A little bit of therapy would definitely be good.
Yeah, will be something she'll be looking for once we have some downtime. For now, I'll have to just be in a very damaged state.
I did a 19 on my medtech roll for you, so.
Nice. Well, okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll go ahead and throw out the IP here as soon as he gets back, but I think that went pretty well.
He got 6 degrees of touch of Nirvana on him. Ivar just got excited to being able to touch
anybody.
He walks up behind her and just starts massaging her shoulders. Ivar will get rid of tension.
Your hair.
He's caressing it.
Gives a big old
sniff.
Dear God, where the
just for me.
By the way, where the hell was this roll tonight?
Right.
10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 2, 2, 2, 8.
It wanted to make you sweat, and I think it did, given the fact that it literally made you use your entire pool of luck in one shot.
Okay, so if Riv hadn't gone like supernova, my plan with Barrick was Blunderbuster.
That would have been good.
Shots followed by 2 rockets. Just
bam, then
but, like walking and yelling. Like, I did not fail her. I did not fail her. Like
that would have been epic, dude.
Rocket.
I think Barrick got his cool moment regardless.
That's
yes, you
I
did.
was like, I read the room. I can't trump what Riv just did.
No. I was playing in my head that Ivar, like, you guys actually just thought Ivar was waving his hands around, but he was actually doing magic the whole time. And the last thing he was going to do was suck that whole bean into a black hole of nothingness. But Riv
turns out that's what Riv did.
I gotta ask.
Riv totally did that.
I gotta ask, since I was like making this baddie up. I'm curious. Scary level 1 to 10. 1 being basically Kobold, and 10 being holy shit Dracolich. How scary did this work out? Like
8.
Yeah,
because I've actually played against a Dracolich, so yeah, 8.
This was pretty. Okay, I used luck. I used 5 of my 6 points of luck.
Mm-hmm.
And I have gone through the last 2 fights using maybe 1 point of luck.
Right.
Because I like, if he misses, he misses. Like, I feel like, because usually I'll get a miss and then 3 hits or whatever, and I'm like, no, that's real. He's gauging, and he's overconfident and stubborn, so he's always gonna not put it all on the line. I used up my luck. I used up my, reflex augmentation. I used my arcane capacitor. Like,
I mean, what it did was it made us think, and this was probably one of the few fights that actually we had to think about how to defeat it. Drew and I had to move it between 2 metaphysical states to allow for the party to be able to damage it. And that
was the thing that I was like, okay, we've tried regular physical damage. I'll try plasma with a bit of arcane thrown on it. Oh, that didn't actually do what I expected it to do. Okay. You know, it's good. Resistances are fun.
I actually very much liked this character, and I liked your just the fact that it was both chaos and order at the same time, and balance, and my magical mind went to, well, let's just fucking throw this thing out, like let's ping pong this motherfucker back and forth and see what happens.
We yin yanged his ass.
No, and that's what made it so much fun, because every time we've come across an outsider, we've struggled to take the outsiders out, like just trying to figure them out, and whenever we've gotten close to whooping their asses, they've run away. And now we have a way to basically, if I understand it right, is Bob can contain them so they can't run away, so that they have to now fight us.
Yeah, he creates illusory prisms, whatever the hell that means, and he can cause them to be kind of trapped in a reality that they seem to be kind of like sluggish with, which seems to be his talent, which is a little frightening given the fact that he's not in opposition to everyone else, because if he can just create mental realities that trap people, he'd be a very strong problem for the entire group.
God, I almost want to see someone try to trap Ivar in an imaginary reality.
Fuck that shit.
What's my AI therapist?
How much IP did we earn?
45.
Oh, dang.
It's been a while. I haven't had a chance to like upgrade you guys and stuff like that, and this guy was a monster fight.
It was fun to have Riv have her big...
she has a lot of those, but they're always pristinely accurate for the moment necessary. They're never the same fucking outburst.
Yeah, it's almost like I have the chaos of Ivar, but it's very strictly like I have to work with the tools that are given to me, as opposed to Ivar, who's like just creative with what he does.
So I'm gonna use because I was thinking about doing this for all. I was actually waiting for.
I'm your chaos mage.
So I'm gonna be raising. I'm gonna be raising my Irritate to 7.
Oh,
nice.
Shit.
So
well, I'll see you guys later.
See you next
week.
Good
evening.
Bye, Ken.
Night.
Also, to all those who have been in our stream, thanks so much, and we will catch you next